Welcome to the Realignment Report. If you're a fan of Texas high school football, you know that every 2 years, the landscape of the state shifts, literally. We're talking about the University Interscholastic League, or UIL, and their massive realignment process. That's right, it all starts with one thing: enrollment numbers. These figures determine which conference a school lands in, from the tiny 1A schools up to the giant in 6A. Back in 2024 to 2026, the UIL enrollment ranked the largest school in the state of Texas, and that was Allen High School, sitting at a staggering 6,947 students. On the flip side, you had schools like Valentine with just 6 students. It's a huge range. Generally, if a school has more than 2,215 students, they're headed for Conference 6A. If you're between roughly 1,305 to 2,214 students, they fall into 5A. But as we're seeing in the new data submitted for 2026 cycle, those lines are being crossed by some very big names. Let's look at the stock-up list. Some schools are absolutely exploding. The most jaw-dropping jump has been Katy Freeman. In the last rank, they are listed as a 4A school with about 861 students. But their new submission, 2,074. That's a gain of over 1,200 students in a cycle. They are soaring past the 5A threshold. And they aren't alone. Prosper Walnut Grove is moving from 1716 to 2476. That's a one-way ticket to 5A straight into the 6A Shark Tank. And one of the most storied programs in the state, Aledo, is finally crossing that line. They were at 2265 and just submitted 2404. For Aledo, that's huge. They've dominated 5A for years. But that 2404 number puts them right on the edge of 6A. Melissa continues to grow rapidly, jumping from 1762 to 2203 students, which put them in 6A, or they could opt to stay in 5A. Schools like Manville is on the bubble to falling from 2594 to 2254, however, still above the 6A threshold. Prosper Richland is debuting with 1797. There are schools that will be playoff eligible in 5A division immediately. We have to mention DeSoto. They have been a 6A staple, even though their enrollment of 2127 was already below the typical 6A cutoff. Their new submission numbers are even lower, 1932. Enrollment shifts just don't change your schedule, they change who you play in November and December. When schools like Aledo or Prosper Walnut Grove move to 6A, the 5A playoff bracket suddenly looks different. Let's talk rivalries. This realignment is a rivalry killer for some. If DeSoto drops to 5A, the annual 6A clash with Duncanville, who stay massive at 42-14, might not happen in district play. Duncanville remains a massive 6A program. Although its enrollment decreased from 4710 to 4214, it's still nearly double the size of the other schools in the area. This means the legendary battles of the Beltline area, matchups between Duncanville and DeSoto, or Duncanville and Cedar Hill, will no longer occur in district play or even in postseason. While they can still schedule each other as non-district opponents, they will no longer compete for the same district championship trophy. In 5A, given their submitted numbers, Cedar Hill 2141 and Lancaster 2137 would likely compete in 5A Division I, the largest school bracket, with potentially DeSoto 1932 included in the mix. With a rapid suburbanization in the northern Dallas corridor is pushing historically smaller school powers into the 5A classification. Salina bypasses the bubble entirely to enter 5A. Anna, which climbed from 1490 to 1789. Moving into 5A will force these former 6A powerhouse to compete against established 5A programs in the southern Dallas County and Ellis County corridor. Notable schools that might join in the district include Red Oak, currently in 5A. Red Oak saw its enrollment grow from 2176 to 2291. Mansfield schools like the Mansfield Summit, 1882 students, and Mansfield Timberview, 1691 students, are firmly in 5A range, and they are geographically close to each other and could be included in the best Southwest Center district. Midlothian, with enrollment of 2053, Midlothian remains a strong 5A contender that could become frequent rivals for DeSoto or even Lancaster. Forney and North Forney, both schools are now firmly established in 6A. Forney grew to 2933 and North Forney reached 2897. Prosper Walnut Grove is the headline story here. They jumped from 5A enrollment of 1716 all the way to 2476 students. There's so many school change implications, I cannot cover it all. School enrollment for 2026 to 2028 was submitted in last year, October timeframe. We have to wait until February 2nd until the UIL announces each school district breakdown from 6A to 1A. Well, that's all for now. Once we have the district breakdown, I'll cover the updates and give you my take on the big game potentials for the 2026 to 2028 season. Thanks for joining Tman-Sports. Don't forget to like and subscribe.